and I put in a couple of little baits with the crane. Now I thought surely not, because I know every single practical demonstration on Earth with the crane destroys the spinning globe model. So I thought the only option they've got would be the Foucault pendulum, and I thought surely none of them are silly enough to take up my offer. And if they were, surely they wouldn't be silly enough to throw the Foucault pendulum at me.
G'day everybody, Where's Wally here? Well, look, I'm just having to take my Ventolin and calm down my coughing and my laughing. I'm just giving myself asthma. Oh, that's because I listened to Adam IFE. Oh, sorry, Level Earth Observer he's called by these days. Yes, he just put out a video and he thinks he tricked everybody. Here in Australia, I get up about 10 hours before you. So yeah, I sort of thought you might have been up to some sort of trickery, but so was I. So look, I'll come clean. Yeah, look, fine. I threw a few Foucault pendulum things at you because that's what I thought you were probably after. But seriously, I didn't really expect it would work, because what happens if you've got a multi-block cable thingy? It's not going to really work. If you've got breeze, it's not going to really run or work. There's so many reasons why it probably wouldn't work at all. Did you stop and think that if it did work, were you going to tell me the data anyway? Of course you weren't. I was never going to get a positive answer from you one way or the other. So I accepted that. But what I did do was throw a few extra questions in there. Do you ever wonder why I was asking you for the length and the period of the swing? That's got nothing to do with Foucault pendulums, has it, mate? So yeah, I was one step ahead of you. Or at least I weren't behind you. So Adam, you still going to go and do it now? Come on, mate, you can do it. I tell you what, if you do it, I'll give you a look at that video you wanted to see with Wolfie's plane sitting on the deck, all nice and pretty, camera pointing straight ahead. Even got another plane right in front so you can see it's perfectly level. And then he flies it all the way from Sydney to Darwin in a nice slow TV type way. The camera doesn't move, so you can look at everything. You can even see the horizon bending through the glass. It's beautiful 1080p quality too, but I just can't get it to seem to play any bigger at the moment. I'm not sure why. I'm sure you want to see it, mate. But only if you do the pendulum. Do a simple pendulum test for us, will you?
I cannot believe, Wally, it just kept getting worse, as the debunking known as Scimandan, with over 300,000 subs, jumped on board then halfway through last week, or near the end of last week.
Adam, it's funny that you mentioned sub counts, because I think when Scimandan last ripped into you a few years ago, his subs were less than 3,000, and now look, I think it was your video that gave him the first mini viral boost. So we all thank you for that, Adam.
Folks, if you're not convinced, you should be now. The Earth is flat. The globe is dead.
I'm surprised you're even able to talk still with all the humble pie spilling from your mouth. What an absolute mess of a video. Well, there we have it, people. Another complete destruction of yet another flat earth proof video. I shall await his scathing response with bated breath. After all, everyone has now seen the video he was moaning about. The problem is, it's actually proven curvature. How embarrassing is that? Thanks, Adam, for doing my job for me. Thanks again to everyone who has subscribed. We are winging our way to 3,000. I'm extremely grateful to all of you.
I cannot believe, Wally, we're now just going to see what should have been some of the greatest footage of all time from modern day space actually exposed again, totally wide open. And I thank you for putting me back onto this, Dan.
Oh, I just love that Leo thinks that modern day space is back in the days of Space Shuttle. How many years ago was that? That was almost 10 years ago. No, mate, I think you want to get up on board with the Starman, Falcon 9, Himawari 8, Discover, and some of those nice tools. And I'm going to make a video just for you and every other flatty, and it's going to be epic.
I cannot believe, Wally. This is footage of obviously the shuttle docked with the International Space Station. Now this is filming it, as I've shown before. We get to see the infamous Airfix model shuttle docked with the bog roll inspired International Space Station. Now, as if it isn't bad enough, and I didn't pick this up last time, this was supposed to be also documenting the maneuver of the ISS doing rotations, okay? Actually maneuvering and rotating, I believe, by 180 degrees. So this would have been the greatest thing in modern space history to capture, to see this incredible object in space going 17,500 miles an hour round a ball, rotating, correcting itself. This would have been incredible. But no, of course, we won't see that, because this model we look at from various different angles is on a stick in a black room with this Earth supposedly there stuck behind it, however they've done that, a projection, whatever. So rather than see this great thing being manoeuvred about in space, which would have been amazing footage, we get cuts and suddenly the space station's changed its orientation.
And what we see is what we usually see from flatties. There's a whole pile of whinging that, oh, this doesn't work and that doesn't work and this didn't look right, but they never actually go and look for it themselves. So Adam, here I give you a nice fly around of the whole ISS, which doesn't move, but the spaceship goes around it.
All going on at 17,500 miles an hour around a ball, whilst going around a light bulb at 500,000 miles an hour. What's not to believe? The orientation's changed. Now, wouldn't that have been great? They changed the camera around and all sorts, but this thing's supposed to be changing its solar panels and rotating it round. This, to see this in action would have been amazing. But each time you see the thing change, they change its orientation. We get a cut rather than see the ISS actually move round. Of course, again, giving it away, it's on some sort of lolly stick there in the background. And then we've got our bog roll inspired International Space Station with mosaic tiles, all the trimmings there, beautiful. And of course, all these guys here arrived on this Airfix model and are now currently, according to Space and NASA, in one of these bog roll tubes. Well, we're getting to see all these great experiments. This is good stuff. Well done, Dan. I mean, come on, folks. We've seen it before. It's shocking. Another cut. Or do we turn the camera around this time and just give the game away even more? Another cut. You see? Rather than see this thing maneuver around in space, this gigantic man-made object, you get cuts. So they documented this supposed great thing, the shuttle docked with the ISS, supposedly maneuvering around, but we didn't get to see it maneuver around. We just got cuts of it in its place, having done the maneuvers but off film. It's obvious, people. This is a model, we knew it anyway, and the footage now with the cuts supposedly documenting this thing maneuver around, the fact that wasn't documented gives the whole game away anyway. Add to the fact it's an Airfix model, add to the fact your man's tripping out grabbing things in there that aren't there, the astronaut Kelly, whatever his name is. One big pantomime of deceit